Yeah, welcome to Coffee and Cannabis. I'm your host Eliza, and this is
Corey, what's up?
And you guys already know we're back with another one, but this one is really, really important because this is Jersey's own. Okay, please give it up for the number one selling, the most incredible, one of my favorites, the creator and brilliant woman behind Miss Grass. Please, Miss Kate Miller.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
What a great intro.
Yeah, you have done some incredible things, and obviously you're all over the country, but you are from this state. So we're very happy to have you. But before we get into our interview, of course, we got for our coffee, Bodega.
That K1 special.
We gonna switch it up pretty soon. We gonna get our bearings. We got some good news that came, but before that, what are we smoking?
We're smoking Fast Times by Miss Grass, Kate Miller. Hold that. You know what it is. They have all the accoutrements. But yeah, they have the All Times, the Fast Times, and what's my other one? Because I can't play.
Quiet Times.
Yeah, the Quiet Times. Because I can't play with the end because I'd be too sleepy. I'm too sleepy
You're
already.
a Fast Times guy?
Yeah, I
Same.
gotta do the sativa because I used to smoke indica a lot when we started the show, and I was like, I can't make it home. I'm like tired.
You guys film late too. This is
Yeah,
kinda late.
we do a couple. So yeah, I have to do the sativas, the Fast Times, but absolutely, you see what it is. Fast Times by Miss Grass, Kate Miller herself.
Listen, you guys know that we've been talking about the baby that's on the way. The baby is no longer on the way. The baby decided that he wanted to be here right now.
Yeah, a month early.
He wanted to come a month early, but I could not miss this pre-planned interview with this incredible woman. I know that you guys are going to gain tremendous value from this, and I just had to make sure that I'll be here. So this is going to be the last one you're going to see me for a couple, so I can go be a mom entrepreneur. But in the meantime, as we
First of
continue
all,
to talk about
congrats. Major congrats.
thank you. And women are powerful and so incredible. And you have made a brand that really speaks to us. Thank you for that, number one. But also, just how did you even get to this place that you've been able to create such a strong brand? Like, give me a little bit of your journey before cannabis.
Yeah, so where do I begin? I'm a Jersey girl, like you said. I've always personally really loved weed. I used to smoke Dutches growing up in Jersey.
Hey.
So from the very first Dutch I ever smoked, it was like game over for me. I was the girl that always had it, rolled it, you know where to get it from me. Fast forward, I moved out to university in LA in California. California had a medical cannabis program at the time. So it was the first time as someone who loved weed, I got my medical card. I walked into my first legal dispensary and I was like, kid in a candy shop, this is the most incredible thing. I landed up working as a medical bud tender my junior and senior year of college. Which is somewhat what planted the seed for Miss Grass. At that time, this is now 2007, 2008. There wasn't a lot of brands at the time that I felt really resonated with me or like the amazing girlfriends and guy friends that I had in my life that consumed this plant more intentionally. It was very like stoner bro, heavy hardcore, like we had a dab bar at the dispensary. Now looking back, I'm like, that was so illegal. But
There were a lot of parts of that early California that weren't.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I landed up, coming up with the idea of Miss Grass back then, like not fully conceptualizing what it would be a decade plus later, but went on GoDaddy, bought the URL missgrass.com, sat on it for 10 plus years, and then post college worked in the entertainment space for a guy in Los Angeles named Ben Silverman, and then moved back east and was living in New York and ran brand partnerships for Lorne Michaels. So that's across his film, television, and digital properties. He's probably most known for Saturday Night Live.
Mm-hmm.
And then, started looking back into the cannabis space. California had just voted or was about to vote to go adult use and decided this is the time to get in and started working on Miss Grass full time. Left my job in entertainment and we're here today.
Here we are. I have a lot that I want to pull out of that. The first that you said, the dab bar, and it just being like this bro culture, and lately, a big conversation that I've been having is about just like us operating in these male-dominated spaces. So what do you feel like has been your greatest challenge as a woman in a male-dominated industry?
first, I get this question a lot, and I feel like I changed my answer a lot too, because something comes up, maybe that's, that recently happens that comes to mind. I probably, if I were to really think about the 6.5 years of building Miss Grass, the most challenging, I would say, was thinking through how to capitalize the business and raise capital and get connected to investors, because I found that the capital markets, especially, and the people that control the money, are predominantly men, and predominantly white men.
Yep.
And 2% of venture capital goes to women. It's way less if you're a woman of color, and I found it to be very hard. Plus, our name is Miss Grass. I can't tell you how many people have asked me, still to this day. Actually, last night I was at a dinner with someone, and this person asked me too. But hey, have you ever thought about getting Mr. Grass? Which, to the point, I have. I went on GoDaddy and looked at the website, and there's a lawn mowing company, at least back then, named Mr. Grass. But I would say that's been probably the most challenging part of it.
What are the other answers that you get? Because I think that it's fair to what you said, something happens and then that is what is at the forefront of your mind. But that's a long time that you've been in this space, that you've been navigating it, and it's only now has more women in it.
Yeah.
So outside of capital, I'll give you an example. Some of the big issues that I'm dealing with at this particular moment, if somebody were to ask me, there's so many things I could say, and what I would say because of this particular incident is them not respecting our voice, not thinking that we have the know-how in certain arenas that they think that traditionally we don't occupy, so we shouldn't have any know-how in, right? Finance and numbers is one of them, but construction, that's a huge one that I deal with, that they just cannot understand why a woman is on a construction site. You not only on the construction site, but actually know what's happening.
And
what's
demanding shit.
Well, for those that don't know, Eliza does maintain a GC license. So,
they're
she
who is
knows
this?
her construction.
No,
Whose wife showed up?
Yes.
Whose wife is here today? Yeah, no, it's hilarious, but it's also not.
Yeah.
Because, you shouldn't feel like I shouldn't feel like I have to have Corey as my bully, to come and assert.
And I'm the soft, squishy one. I'm the softie.
I mean, it's true.
That's evident.
You're way more in trouble if Eliza has to come. Yeah.
But no, it's true. And I would say, you said something earlier in terms of, it's always been a space that's been really male dominated. That's not how I felt when I first got into Miss Grass.
Really?
Yeah. When I really left my career in entertainment and fully devoted Miss Grass full time as a career, this was 2017. And at that time, it was the headlines in press read cannabis could be the first multi-billion-dollar industry with women at the helm. There was a lot of women.
There was a lot of push for it
space.
at the time. Yeah.
And a lot of women, even early days of Miss Grass, moved out to California because at that time it's kind of where you needed to be.
Right.
And I can name 20 brands that, and not even brands, different things community platforms, groups, event marketing companies, brands, accessories, etc., all run by women, and incredible, amazing women who, there are many incredible, amazing women in this space still, but way less, so much less. Now, I think back then we this industry over-indexed compared to other industries, and now it way under-indexes.
What do you think happened from
capital? Capital was poured into this space, and with that, the culture of the capital markets.
And that's really important for people to see what happens over time.
Yeah.
Right? Because this is a new state, and for those that don't have the perspective that you do, that you can see what's happened over time, they're just looking at what's in front of them. And it's no, if you don't pour into this now, when it comes to sustainability and longevity, those are the people that are not going to be around.
Totally.
That's such an issue. With that, tell me, what do you feel like your best state to operate in is?
Jersey,
Yo,
without hesitation.
Pre-rolls
Jersey.
1, 2, and 3 in New Jersey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's my home state. I brought it back home. Jersey is just Yeah, we do really well here in the market.
No, but
Yeah.
listen, I want you to get like people have the opportunity now to try to emulate what you've done. It's inspiring, right? What like people want to venture out. You went to Cali, like you said, that's really the place that you had to go to do it then. But now people
At that
have some
time.
options,
Yeah.
right? If maybe they're not from Jersey and they're watching, they're from another
Yeah.
state. Like when you have those relationships, I know your relationships are all different. I've sat with, on some panels and, I know some of them are MSO relationships, some of them are independent. Like if someone was going to try to do this and you know of an easier going state, whether
Yeah.
it's regulation wise or just folks that you deal with, and then also from the sales perspective, like
Yeah.
which one you think you could kill it. Give some insight to that.
Yeah, and first, just to like set context in case people aren't familiar with the business model, because I think that's also important
Yes.
to know, is we're what's called an asset light brand, where we operate currently in 6 markets. We sell our product, our Miss Grass Minis, in all 6. But we don't own any cannabis licenses. We go into all these markets and hold hands with a cultivator, a manufacturer, a distributor, and then we put our people in markets to support, like for sales and the marketing side of the brand. So yeah, in some markets we've partnered with MSOs. In other markets we partnered with independent, operators in the state. California, we have like beautiful, great greenhouse. The majority of our states, we have indoor, but we go in and really vet, the right partner, and a lot goes into that. But in terms of your question of state, there's a couple things. It tends to be that the like higher barrier to entry states are like, I don't want to say better, because there's just like less operators. So each operator has like a larger piece of the pie, which isn't necessarily great when thinking of like an equitable space and,
Leverage.
leverage,
Right.
people that like really have such a strong passion, and frankly, so many people that have been impacted by this plant's prohibition, and like not having necessarily like the same resources as like maybe an MSO that comes in, or whoever that comes in and, can get in. But those states like that are higher barrier to entry, I would say, that are limited licenses, I think each individual, operator does better, I would say. But there are also states that are like unlimited license, like Michigan and California,
Yeah.
and, even New York right now. There's a lot of cannabis in New York, and being, I'm speaking from our play, which is like a brand play in this space. So if you're like a marketer and have a brand, there's a lot of cultivators that like that's not what they do nor what they want to do,
Right.
like they're like, I grow fire weed, like I want to stick to doing that. And so I think that those states are there's a lot of opportunities to like really do well by being a truly authentic brand who like has a deep passion for this plant and can market to a specific consumer segment and really win that category.
And I want to speak to what you said about like business is business, right? And we talk often about that. So ultimately, from an equitable standpoint, no, it's not. But for someone who is strategically looking for a place to place their brand that they know they have the ability to really grow, I mean, it's just simple like logic and mathematics. There's less people involved.
Yeah.
It makes it easier to navigate,
Yeah.
right? You have more people involved. It's tougher to navigate. So I think there is some play around that with what a lot of the MSOs are doing with the social equity brands. And I think that is a good bridge to that gap.
Yep.
Or gap to that. Did I say it right?
we
I
were
shouldn't be talking
following.
about bridges right now.
Yeah, for real.
This is like week 2, baby. Like your sleep must be. What
Oh
are you?
yeah.
You're early
No,
in this?
he's.
No.
I think he's like 8 days old, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not even
yeah.
2 weeks. Yeah, I'm exhausted. What was I saying? You see?
See,
My bad.
Damn
That
it,
was on me.
Enzo got you.
That was-
So I think the bigger part, like you said, is that there are barriers to entry, but at the same time,
Oh, yeah.
you can come to this space and like you have like not own licenses. And I've said this multiple times on the show. Like y'all should pay attention because I know people that have done it. But it's you don't have to own a license to be in the cannabis industry. And to be in that sense a multi-state operator in the sense of just having a
Yeah.
brand across states. You don't have to just like. I know everyone wants to get a license. It's the thing. Like, oh, I'm gonna go get a license. Great, good for you. But there's still ways to do this, and in some ways, be more nimble and flexible and proactive because you can grow faster.
It requires less work.
it's less.
It requires less capital.
Yeah.
You know, like you're not going in and buying a massive cultivation site and like pouring whatever you need to do that to really like, scale that. It just requires a lot less capital. I think the like takeaway I would say would be like partnerships.
Yeah.
You know, there's like ways, even what you were saying before of, a lot of MSOs, which is when I interrupted you.
No.
A lot of MSOs are holding hands now with social equity operators. And, I'm definitely no expert on like what those deals look like, so I can't like guide on that. But I think that there's a really strategic way to structure that benefits all parties involved, and
Agreed.
so I just,
Yes, that's where I was gonna. That's
Yeah,
where I was
I
gonna go
figured
with
that's
it.
where you were going.
That's where I was gonna, because I think that that's how we bridge it. Because those folks, to be able to give them the licenses, but see, this is the thing: they have to care. The MSOs have to care.
Yeah.
Right. A big conversation in this whole diversity space is that people get like a chief diversity officer or this whole group, and then as soon as they're not doing well, that's the first group that they slice.
Yep.
Right. They do the same thing with the social. We know
or
brands
Yeah.
or the brands that they slice. Yeah.
Definitely.
that they cut so it's the same thing, and it's like, if you're gonna have those partnerships, it cannot be performative.
No.
They have to be just as important as your whatever else that you got, that's
Yeah,
your
yeah,
house
yeah.
brand,
Yep.
but I do think
I
that
mean,
that's the
it's
way to
with
make it more equitable.
everything in part. Who you hold hands with, and especially who you hold hands with in a business setting. Like, they need to check off all the boxes, including like good human beings, like authentic humans, like approaching this in this like truly like win-win collaborative abundance energy, and then also, and I've had my fair share of learnings and not structuring everything right, but I would say like it does also like structuring it in a legally right way and getting guidance on that is also important. Again, I don't come from a license side, but I feel like I've heard so many stories of license holder holding hands with kind of like a shark, and they landed up not really owning any of their business, or
Or signing with their names.
Yeah.
So talking about your product, the packaging. I love
Yeah.
your packaging. You know that. But how did you get to this? Like,
this is
it's bright.
It's right. It's supposed to exude like the high, So the Fast Times is definitely like bright and energetic, and this is all this woman on our team, Priyanka Pulajal. She's our head of creative. Everything you visually see is like her wildly creative, visionary brain.
That's dope.
Yeah, to the point where like this, when she presented like our identity system and our color, and we talked about it, like it like got down to like color psychology. She was like, the orange, like this is how, like it was so intentional. I was like, damn.
It was like, yeah, we're with
I was
that.
like, yeah, I just speak in energy terms to her, and she also can translate that, which is amazing, where she like talks in a designer speak, which I don't have that expertise, and I'm always like, like this is the vibe,
Yeah.
like yes, like
Here we go. Everyone's into stars and moons. No, yeah. So you're like, here's the vibe I'm feeling,
Totally.
and she figures it out
and
in a
she
color.
could, yeah, and she could translate that.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's like the dude I've been seeing on the IG memes that can like smell anything and make a scent out of it. I don't know what my algorithms are doing, but I've been getting a lot of that now.
Damn.
It's like when people get like boutique cologne made, and it's like,
Yeah.
so it's like, I want it to smell like this flower, and like the dude recreates it right there, does the mixes and all that. Yeah. See?
My sense of smell, I don't feel is that.
Yeah, I burnt that out.
Intelligent.
Yeah, mine's not good enough to.
Except for weed, I can smell weed.
Yeah,
and be
no,
like,
weed.
smell
I know what Blue Dream smells like. I know what Mandarin Skittles smell like, no matter where I'm at or what we're doing. And then, I didn't even show, but you had the Generous Apes coming to Jersey.
This is a sneak peek.
Yeah.
These are-
It's
I was about to say, I have never
these
seen
are
that.
It's not
live
out yet.
Yeah.
What is it?
Beautiful
I believe
glass jar, square
Square-
mold. We brought over
4.2?
our own genetics. We partnered with a group out of California named Purple City Genetics.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, Oren, who is like the Man, I haven't even seen these in a while.
Yeah, I love like touches like this. Yeah, I appreciate branding.
Damn, I wish there was just like the beautiful, like,
Oh, listen.
juicy nugs in there though.
Yeah, it's some
It's
strange.
coming.
There's some things coming,
Yeah.
but
So listen, trademark issues, bad partnerships, major branding challenges, all these things. These are all things that have gotten folks in a jam and such, right? What do you tell me some things that were early stage mistakes that you'd be like, like trademark issues I know is a huge one for some people. They don't think the brand is gonna jump off and then it does and
Yep. Yep.
yeah. Give me some gems.
Mistakes, early days. Jeez. Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of mistakes that I like look back and I'm like, these are learnings. But in the vein of design, before we found Priyanka, who's a full-time employee, we early days, like pre-Miss Grass product days, when we were more of like we started the brand as an online media platform. So we didn't have product actually until like year like 2.5, 3. So it started out as, like an online magazine, really focusing on building and scaling community first across the entire country, even global. And then like also really understand who our community is, like what they want, what they're smoking, like all those things, and then ultimately use that. So early days, even when we were like a magazine, to build like our identity system, which is like your brand's visual, elements, everything that you see, we had worked with an agency, and I would say like that agency could not decipher my energetic. I'm like,
they couldn't read the tea leaves.
no.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't get it. So that was, I would say, like an early, especially early days where like we weren't really making much money. Like we had so little money, so like every dollar really needed to be like useful,
knock it out the park every time. Yeah,
totally. And like we just like didn't, and it was like money, and so I would say that was like an early mistake.
So bad alignment with some partners that just they weren't seeing, the vision wasn't aligned.
Yeah,
but that costs money.
Yeah,
time is money,
which is also money too, and actually money.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you gotta cycle through a few things to get to what is, a final product, a doing very well product.
Yeah. Thank you.
Stay selling out.
Thank you. I would say also, I mean, what comes to mind are like the bad partnerships. I could put that all under like one umbrella. Like even, and I love all of our, supply chain partners, but like there was one, and it's public, but like there was one that the company isn't public, but I mean like it's public knowledge of what I'm about to say, that great humans, love them, but like went out of business and like owed us money and just never got paid on that, Like that was just dumb of us to like kind of like let the AR stack a little bit.
Damn, I'm pretty sure I worked for that company. She didn't have to say what company it was, and I didn't know the story, but it's probably the one I worked for.
No way, the single state operator in Nevada, so only if you lived in,
No.
I did work in Nevada, but not that one. Okay.
I-
It sounded like another one I used to work for.
I saw something on LinkedIn today about that same thing that somebody had set. They put a post saying like, I sent my first like business relationship to collections, and they were like, I feel so bad about it, but it's just like you haven't paid. They gave some number of like 290 days or something. They were like 2 invoices past due, and you think about the traditional market and what that life is like, right? And then you look at the legal market of like, putting people on
like terms,
30-day terms.
like,
You know what I'm saying? And then they take advantage of that, or there's friction in that relationship, and then there you go. Somebody is not winning on either side. So that's a big problem. Obviously, like you were telling me about it, and then I literally just saw it on LinkedIn today.
And like really good learning. We're so vigilant on checking our AR. Like if someone, like a retailer or what, like we're a small business. Like we can't like front, like that's like really detrimental to the brand and the business. So we just can't do business with people who don't pay on when they need to pay, And
sometimes people don't understand that. They're like, oh, well, it's like, well, no, we got You know,
Bills and
like you
different.
said, asset light. So it's
Yeah.
like, no, everything is accounted for. Everything
Yeah.
counts. Like it all matters.
Yep.
Yeah. And trust me, if y'all don't know, those of y'all that are just getting in this business, not paying is a part of it.
Yeah.
It's a big
It's
part
a
of it.
lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot of not paying in cannabis, whether
Especially
you know it or
in
not.
certain markets.
Yeah.
It's there's
It's a way more common
because
thing than
it's
people want to
been
acknowledge.
frankly like just such a well, I mean you guys know like it's been like even the process watching you all like get a retail license and bringing and operationalizing that like it's kind of like a wild industry,
Yeah.
and chaotic, and we're all just fucking figuring it out, and like every state's doing shit a little bit differently, and like
Yep.
it just so with that I think there are like a lot of operators that aren't like crushing it,
Yeah.
so they can't, I have like empathy for that too, but we also need to not.
Yeah, it is.
we need more money too.
There's plenty of money in the industry. That doesn't mean that it's easy money, right? And I think that's the part I think a lot of people that don't work in it don't understand is that it's not easy money. And money's still tight. And even if you've been around for years, that was back in like 18 where money was flowing and you could get loans, but that means now you're in debt, right? So like even the MSOs are hurting, right? They're trying to figure out how to pay their debtors and do different things. You see the stocks go up and down and all over the place. Some of them have already fallen off the stock markets, like the Canadian stock market. Like it's a lot of money in the industry. It is not easy money. Like you got to fight for this. Like, even Eliza and myself, just getting that approval of saying, yes, you can open, you're there, costs hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Like it's a lot of money. It's a lot of patience, a lot of headache medicine, a whole lot of headache
I
medicine.
just say
Yeah.
thankfully we work in weed because there's no other like thing I would it saved me in the chaos of all of this. Like it is
Sure.
the medicine of it.
Working in the facilities and so on. I've had days where the day sucked and it was very stressful. And you're like, I just need to walk into the grow. And you just kind of walk in and go, you're like, weed.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like, all right, we can at least go to the next day now. Right? It's like, I just need this moment before I leave for the day because it's insane. It's hard work. It's pushing.
It is.
And it's tight margins and you got to make it happen. No, so
And it's such a healing plant. Like what you just said is so beautiful. It's true. Like when you walk into those like grow rooms and you're just like with the plants, they're just like
yeah, but they won't let
It's
me
natu-
smoke in the grow room.
yeah. Right.
Like,
It's not an easy business. And even now with 100 or 120, whatever number they're at, up to, even with that many, there's still people that are struggling.
Yeah.
Like people thought like getting a license was enough. And it's like, no, there's other things that matter in
Yeah.
retail in general, right? Your location, you like your product selection,
Yeah.
like that's the other thing. There's people that just jump into the weed that don't really have like that don't care about it at all.
Yeah.
And I understand that it's a business, but if you can't relate to your customer or have some folks that know what the customer likes, and you're going to be selling shit that people don't want to buy.
Totally.
There's a lot there, but if you guys didn't catch the two of them, we officially got our license. So that's it. We're here.
peace.
Yeah. You guys been hearing me bitch and moan and fight all the time. So we're here. We got it, and we'll see pretty soon. Summer, maybe. Well,
Yeah, we gonna
we'll let you guys know. But what
that
you
might be close to my birthday too. That's cancerous.
what you do need to know is that this
Wait.
will definitely be in the store. Okay, you guys know where. I mean, hello.
So, with that, hold on. What made you go with a generous eighth, like more than the 3.5?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good
A
question.
4.2 exactly.
4.2
so like
grams.
A 4.2 out of like 420. But but also just a little bit more. You
Yeah.
know? I mean, I think there's the eighth is such a obviously
Yeah, that's
it's an eighth. Like
it's a thing. Yeah,
It's the thing. And so I think it's a nice little selling point. I don't know. But
it's the exact opposite mentality I had when I was selling weed in
you
college.
cut a little bit off.
Listen, I'm selling. I
Yeah,
was
take
skimming
off
them
like
shits.
0.4 of
Listen,
it. You can't. It looks,
when
you're
it-
like
when
this
a-
kind of looks like.
When a solid gram was $20, those was the good days. I was giving y'all 0.8s. I definitely was. I was getting 0.8s, but it was fire though. But yeah, so you're being generous with the eighth. I used to be cutting them grams down.
We're being generous.
I love this. That's great marketing. Also, just very cool, and I'm sure people will appreciate it too. And the 420 is a nice touch. You obviously know what you're doing. I congratulate you on all your success.
Thank you,
Continue.
and congrats to you both. Major accomplishment to get the license.
Thank you, and we look forward to carrying your product. Folks out there, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Hit the button.
When you go to your dispensary in Jersey or any of your legal states, make sure you pick this up. Fast Times.
Quiet times and all times, yeah.
That's it.
I'm on the fast times.
Kate Miller in the house. Miss Grass, Coffee and Cannabis. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.